America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America TV is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
Hey, welcome America. This is the Invent America show right here on Invent America Radio on the King's Broadcasting Network. This is Home Talk USA, streaming live all across this great country on all our stations, our terrestrial radio stations. That's where you catch us each week and every week. But Invent America, and I tell you, I'm a little jealous down here. As you know, I'm stuck in all this cold, and believe it or not, South Louisiana, it's freezing right now. And but our next host of the show, my co-host is the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton, and she's actually, listen to this, in Hawaii on a beach doing the show. Life just is not fair. Inventor Lady, why did you have to tell me that? But hope you're enjoying yourself. A lot going on. And so what's happening in the world of Invent America?
Oh, see, I thought you were going to ask me what was happening out here while I was watching.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You know, we are in countdown mode, literally, to get everybody lined up for ASD Market Week. So, I'm laying here and I can hear the waves rolling in, and I have 3 phone calls of people that want to go to the show. So we are starting to, get that final countdown traction going. It's exciting. Stephanie's going to be on with us today. And, we're really talking about the value of that face-to-face communication.
Yeah, and we talked about that many times in the past, and that's the advantage that these new companies that's trying to get their products on the market, and were you out there trying to help them and get them that exposure. But, we keep telling them, and we've done shows in the past, that eye-to-eye contact. But it seems with social media and AI apps and robots and, it seems like it's taking over to where it seems like that entrepreneur is really scared to go out in front of people. And that's the only thing I want to talk about in the future, that I got to let people understand that you have to, let's face it, it's all about relationships. That's what it boils down to. And if people do business with people they like and love. It's the fact of life. If they don't like you, I don't give a care how good your product is. I'm sorry, you're not going to get in through the door. People want to do business who they like, they trust, they have respect for, and they have that personal relationship. And I think that's what is missing. And we're going to talk about this a lot. And we got to get back to the ground rules. We got to get back to old school, where, you follow the roads to the sale, you follow the roads to manufacturing, get it out there. And that's what the trade shows do. Because we talked about this, that eventually what's going to happen, they're going to tell you the way it is, and you're going to hear it, whether you like it or you don't like it. At least you're going to get some feedback with these companies that's thinking about marketing your product or manufacturing your product,
I've had multiple times when a company has walked away from a deal with an inventor because the inventor is difficult to deal with. I've had multiple times when the inventor is at a trade show and they're talking and getting feedback about their product, and they go, I didn't even think of that. So it's really, a good opportunity for both sides. A licensee or a buyer wanting to work with an inventor and then thinking, okay, no, the product's just not that cool. And, it is about relationships. And, when we talk about leverage, for a lot of the inventors, where do you get your leverage? It is not on social media, because you're still paying the influencers. You're still paying the platform. You are paying. So you get a bigger bang for your buck being eye to eye with a company that's willing to carry your product and meet you and say, no, we want this. And I've seen deals done just in the last 2 weeks that is like, we really don't care what the licensee wants to do as long as we're making money. Good job, Mr. Inventor. And then the other ones that want to keep control of it and they just want to, it's like, do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, and you're saying this through experience, because I remember when I first ran across you, you were part, I hate to say it, you were part of that package yourself, social media, influencers, relying on other people to dictate what they thought was going to be about what you were doing. And then you woke up one day and said, man, I got to smell the coffee here and take control of this myself. So you actually part of what you're saying through your personal experiences. I hope you didn't mind me mentioning that, because it happened to you. You were
best
controlled.
Advice is best advice is through lessons learned, you know?
Yeah. But I want to talk about the biggest bang for your buck. What would you say? It is the trade shows?
It's
Really?
the trade shows.
Yeah.
You know, I've had multiple inventors tell me, it's like, you know, I wasn't selling anything till I went to a trade show.
Yeah.
And, you know, then there's others that are saying, you know, I've reached my limit on where I can go. I need to go and meet people. And it scares them. It makes them uneasy to go into that big, you know, that big arena and not know what to say. Nobody's got your back. And that's why we take the team to ASD Market Week. And they really, they meet each other. They look out for each other. They talk about each other's product. If they're out on the floor, we take sales staff. It makes a huge difference.
Well, I need to tell you, I didn't have a product to sell. My product was me. But I remember 29 years ago, there was this young guy named the Cajun Contractor, and he had a show called Home Talk USA. And his first trade show that he did was the National Hardware Show in Chicago at the McCormick Center. It was 29 years ago. Nobody heard me, didn't know who I was. I just got signed by the GCN network. And I went down to the trade show, and I set me a little booth, and you know, I had my little banner and everything. I was not in the level of the other shows. They had these big, beautiful broadcasting booths, but I just had a table with a banner. And, but man, the energy that I did, and, you know, they were just, I hate to say it, they were just so boring. Okay, this is how you fix your toilet. And, you know, here's the Cajun man. Hey, man, welcome. Come over here. I'm going to tell you how to do it right now. So that energy level, and that's how I got first attracted to you guys doing. And you came over and saw this crazy guy and everybody. So what I'm trying to say is use me as an example, because 29 years ago, if it wouldn't have been for a trade show, there would have been no Home Talk USA. There would be no radio, because I didn't know how to get my show out there, because we were a educational show. I had to have topics. I had to have people. And the only way I can get the people is to go out there to the trade show. So I know what the trade shows played in the success of this show. Meeting you, meeting all the people over the years, you know, and I said that earlier. This is 1,177th episode. That's unheard of today. To be almost 1,200 episodes 29 years ago, and we're still putting out the education information, and you're still doing it. And we're still here. And you know, last week I did a dedication on this show where we had one of the other shows, competitive shows. The show host had tremendous respect for. He passed away unexpectedly on surgery, and we lost him. But I made, you know, he was one of the original. He was about 2 months before me, and I said, you know, and for 2 years I promoted this show, saying, hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the oldest, and boy, I didn't want it that way. I assure you, I didn't want it that way. But hey, but it's all about education, information, and that's what we do here each week and every week. And but yeah, the bang for your buck, Rita, is the trade show. That's it. That's the bang for your buck. I agree. Yeah.
It is. It's so expensive to market. And that's where a lot of people don't realize. It's like, you know, going to a trade show, you talk to more people in 3 days than you do 6 months on social media. And it's all about how many people you talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. And but we got a packed show up. And I know we don't have time to really go through the lineup. You can check out the website. But there's a lot going on right now. And I do want to push the ASD Market Week. If you're listening to the show and you're thinking about getting your product and services, Rita, get that contact information. Give it to right now how people can reach you to see if we can get some more people signed up.
Rita Crompton, it's inventorlady.com. If you Google Inventor Lady, America's Inventor Lady, you are going to find my phone number. They are going to print it on the side of my casket. I'm taking it with me, but it's 303-910-8889. I answer my phone. That's my direct line. I answer my emails. Call me.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that out there because it's so important that we have to. But and actually, the success or failure of your show and my show depends on these trade shows because that's where we get our topics, that's where we get our guests, and that's where we get our sponsors. Because let's face it, we need sponsors. We cannot be on the air and pay for the massive amount of budget that we have to pay for, and to do this. Well, we're going to take a short break. This is the Invent America show here on Invent America Radio. I'm the Cajun contractor Michael King with the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. We're going to be right back with another guest, another topic right here. Don't go nowhere. Y'all come back now. You hear? Yeah.
This segment of Invent America TV is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
Thank you so much for joining us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. We love to solve all the problems out there that different consumers have, in their kitchen, garage, wherever you have it. You know what? We're going to be working to solve those problems. So thank you for joining us today. My guest is Kevin Cody. And first, I want to talk to you about our sponsor for this segment. It is Wood and Wood. We need gutters.com. You know what? We have all got a gutter on our house. And when that water runs down in the wrong spot, we need gutters.com. There's your solution. I got my own, did it myself. Easy peasy, inexpensive fix for all that water that should not be running down on top of your head. We need gutters.com. So Kevin, thanks so much for being with me for this segment of Invent America. And you've been working with new products and getting them into the marketplace. All right, I know I planted this question in your head, Kevin, before we went to air. What's the best place to sell a product?
Well, certainly at retail, because that's still 80% of the business. However, to get the greatest impact in terms of your understanding for how the customer responds to a product, no doubt, being in front of them, shaking their hands, talking to them about the product at a trade show is, an experience that you just can't get anywhere else. And it's an important part of your marketing budget.
Well, you take products for different inventors to market. So you'll post them on your website, FLI products. Tell us about that. Who are you and what do you do?
So we've been in business for 20 years, and we've been bringing products to market for small manufacturers, inventors, variety of different companies in different ways and in different channels and markets. And so as we do that, we are always wanting to get the best consumer insights that we can get about the product. Today, there's some great ways to do that via the internet. But obviously, having a face-to-face contact with somebody, there's just not anything that you can replace with the human reaction to what your product is telling them and how they respond to it. So, those things are really important because oftentimes, keyboard magic doesn't happen when you're shaking somebody's hand. It is the face-to-face interaction that you get, the real instinct for the product.
We've seen it so many times when, a buyer's walking by and they're starting to look at a product and they go, okay, this is really cool. Does it do this thing? Does it do that thing? What about this? And so the inventor gets some really important market research done at the same time. They see the interest of the product, but they also are able to see some of the things that they may have missed. When you get it too close, you don't see all the potential. And so they'll go back and they can redesign it. They can make it better. Sometimes the suggestions makes it less expensive. Sometimes it's a matter of knowing where is the buyer's sweet spot on pricing. And if the inventor can't hit that, before they've had 5,000 made or 10,000 made, they can go back and say, all right, Mr. Engineer, we need to redesign this because we've got to hit this price point.
That's absolutely true. And those conversations will usually frame the information that you need about your pricing, one, about your packaging. Where is it going to go? how does it fit into when that buyer is standing in front of you? How is it going to fit into the assortment that he has today? And as a merchant, he typically or she is typically got a gut feeling for what it is, but doesn't necessarily have the confidence that, hey, this is going to fit here, there, or someplace else. Because oftentimes you will get an impression that the product might fit, but could belong in a different category altogether.
Yep, absolutely. We had one a couple of years ago that she kept thinking that it was going to be a product for a hot tub. And
Mhm.
what she learned from discussions was it should be in therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally missed that one.
Right.
And you mentioned packaging. That's a big one too, because different retail stores, chains require different types of packaging. So you could end
Absolutely.
up with a really cool product in 3 different types of packaging.
Yeah, you're not going to have the same packaging, obviously, for a Sam's Club as you would for Walmart. And the same goes for just about any other retailer. And then obviously it's different for internet e-commerce as well. But those kinds of conversations that you're having with buyers at a show, I have worked a variety of different shows, from Ace Hardware shows in the co-op channel to the biggest hardware shows that ever were. And you get a variety of different types of buyers and variety of different use cases. And it's a great place to be, because if you don't have your packaging down, you don't have your pricing down really tight, then oftentimes you'll get the information right there. You'll know who the customer is.
Well, years ago I had this a gentleman. He invented a product that would be sold, used for selling stuff at movie theaters. And he did this packaging. He did 25,000 packages for this
Mhm.
product.
Mhm.
And none of the theaters wanted that. They wanted something else. His wife
Mhm.
wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
He said, what am I supposed to do with all of these? I said, bonfire. But,
Yeah.
it was just crazy. And then there's other types of things, where they've got a whole bunch of them. They end up giving these, different things away to
Yeah.
family members for Christmas for the next 10 years,
Yeah.
because, they had to make an improvement that they didn't see coming. So the market research piece is just really, really
It's a flea
important.
market waiting to happen at that point.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So we look at, we help inventors and people with products step up to the next level of playing field. We help them meet people like you that are going to help. They can't sell it all themselves. And I've run into so many people in the last 6 months, inventors, is that, well, I can do that myself. It's like, her sister was doing all the packaging for her, and she was, at several thousand. If you
Mhm.
get to tens of thousands, I don't think your sister's going to want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
she has a life too.
there's always that bias built in where you think you know what your product solution is.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily how somebody in a store is going to view it.
That's for sure. So we are going to take a break here and go and pay some bills, but we will be right back with Kevin Cody and Stephanie Behring-Hale, our VP of Buyer Relations at ASD Market Week. And she is the one that really helps us before the show. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about the professional trade show, what goes on, what happens. But if you're out there and you are an inventor and you've got a product, come on. Give me a call, sign up, get it out there, because you know what? You are going to do more in 3 days than you can in 6 months. So stick with us, everybody. We will be right back. If you're an inventor or you know an inventor out there who would just like to be able to have a conversation with other inventors, join the Inventors Roundtable. It's free. The meetings are virtual, so you can be anywhere in America and talk to another inventor. And for a lot of folks out there, understanding the process, being able to ask questions, getting good service provider information is critical to the inventing process. So, got questions? Want to join? It's free, inventorsroundtable.org. And thank you so much for being with us for this episode of Invent America, because America invents. Stephanie, it is really nice to have you join me and Kevin for this segment of Invent America. And you guys have been so wonderful to us out at ASD. You really understand. Buyers don't need to know what's old. They already do. They want to see what's new. So tell us a little bit about what makes ASD Market Week unique.
Well, I'm so happy to be back on here. And Kevin, I look forward to getting to know you a little bit more. But ASD Market Week, we're a little bit different than some of the other trade shows that are out there. And to Kevin's point, you really need to make sure that your product has validity within the market. And what better way to assess that than having retailers of all genres, of all types come through and poke holes into your concept and ask questions and see if they can incorporate that good into their current inventory mix. So ASD Market Week, affordable shopping destination. Rita, I know you've got a different term for it. But it's
Yes.
a great place to introduce your product to the market.
America stands determined. I'm still working on you. So, we love going and part is because of the work you guys do with us, with our inventors, promoting them early, letting everybody know what are the new products coming so that, people like Kevin can come around and say, oh, I want to be a reseller of this product. It's wonderful. So, Kevin, how do you find the products that you want to rep?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Going to a show like ASD certainly opens your eyes to see some of those other products that you may not have even anticipated. And sometimes those things are add-ons to what you have already. They can complement a category that you're already in, or they can actually augment your entire business by having something new. So it's a great avenue, great place to see a lot of different variety and a lot of different interact with a lot of different types of people. Stephanie, there might be some preconceived notions about what people are going to experience when they're at ASD. What would those be? And what would you say about them?
So I think for ASD, the people that come to the show, they know that they need to be curious and they're ready to discover product, which is nice. So I think that right now, a lot of our buyers are spending a lot of time on our website and they're going through the vendor directory so they can scout new items that are potential fits. So right now is the hard work. It's the digging and exploring so that when you get to this show that has thousands and thousands of booths and opportunity, you've got your own game plan so that you can really go see those that you want to seek out first, but then be able to go along the aisles and see what might have popped up that you didn't see online. So
yeah,
you've got the call.
pre-show organization is really, really important to be effective.
And often overlooked, which is amazing. So Rita does a really good job with her crew. They make sure that everyone's product is live and running with the visual and that people know that if they go to Event America, if they go to this booth, they're going to be able to see quite the assortment of products. So that's why I like power in numbers. You don't have to do it alone. Sometimes it's so scary when you're trying to take your product to the market. So it's so much nicer when you're with other like-minded people who all have the same objective, but they're guided by somebody like a Rita or Kevin that can make sure that their product really is seen and heard within the market.
Any types of demographics or specific retailer types that perform better for the show?
For the retailers, we accept all types. So we have the big box that come through, but then we also have the Ace hardware stores. We have a lot of independently owned businesses. So I would say that the main demographic for ASD Market Week is generational businesses, mom and pops, and independently owned ones.
Okay. Well, those are great guys. Those are great retailers to get new relationships with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the big things that I noticed between some of the other shows that we went to is that they really didn't encourage sales. And so the folks that have been with us, anybody that had inventory with them sold it all. Anybody that had inventory in a warehouse took orders. And there's a lot of shows that they don't want you selling on the floor. They don't want you, being able to do that. And I had one of the ladies that can't go, and she said, "All right, how would you facilitate selling if I'm not there?" And I said, you know what? We can take cash and I know how to mail it to you. If I don't send that inventory back, I owe you that much cash. And she goes, oh yeah, I can count. And I go, there you go. So, you know, if they want to place an order, they can go directly to you. I will have all of your contact information there. If they're buying inventory on the floor, they buy, they pay, you're good to go. And I said, believe me, we can figure it out. We're very smart.
And that's what I love about ASD. I mean, we're an order writing show, and we have C-suite executives as well as owners, so they can make those decisions right then and there. You don't have to go through the middleman. You don't have to do all the follow-ups and stuff like that. I mean, it's good that you do, and you should do it with any kind of trade show, but you're shaking the hands, to Kevin's point, and looking somebody eye to eye and saying, what do you think about my product, and how do I get it in your storefront? What adjustments do I need to make? What price structure do I need to look at? But you get all of that work done within those 3 days, which is so important for your business.
Are there price points that people levitate to, retailers levitate to, and go into the ASD show?
We get a little bit of everything. I mean, they definitely lean, especially with these days and age, they like those that are affordable products that, you know, their consumers can get really excited because they're deals and steals. But if it's a good, strong product that they see potential in, they're open and they'll work around, you know, just getting that item in, maybe do a test run to see how it yields in terms of profits. But I would say that we definitely have a wide range in terms of the price point selection, depending on the
With all
retailer
the
that you work with.
all the inventors and other exhibitors that you have dealt with in the past, can you give us an example of the smallest order you ever wrote, or they ever wrote?
Rita, do you know about any of that?
Oh yeah. I mean, last year when we had one lady that was at the corner and she sold her entire inventory. Now it was a type of deodorant powder. And there was a little shop on a Pacific island. They bought it all and they were going to repackage it and sell it. And she goes, I don't care how they package it. I just want to sell it. So she was just pleased as crazy. We had another lady did her first wholesale sale. It was only a dozen units of the product. She had them in a small box under the table, but she was so excited because it was the first wholesale sale she had. And then we had others that were just selling, you know, we had a guy that sold a pain reliever, acupress ear is what it was called. And he was selling them one at a time. You know, they were a little more expensive, $150 a piece, but he would let everybody demo it right there. And it's like, okay, 5 minutes of demo. They were walking out the door buying it. I got the last one. And now we are actually getting ready to do a licensing deal for him. With another company. But if he hadn't been at the show, I wouldn't have met him. I wouldn't have had one of them to try myself and, you know, be able to introduce him then to a company that wanted to license it. So, you know, those things all play into each other, and it's been really exciting to watch the inventors. They get so excited they can sell the product.
That's a
What I
great
like too
investment
is
for the show.
yeah, and it's perfecting the pitch, right? So it is a boot camp where you have to articulate your product over and over and over again. And then with your passion and then how you rearrange your words when you have buyer after buyer, you get comfortable. And that's how you become better at selling your product and getting it out to market. So I love that part too.
You're going to love this. And then we'll have to take a break. But I get inventors say, well, you're going to have a chair for us. I said, no, I've got tables, no chairs. Well, I'm not going to be able to sit down. And it's like, okay, you're trying to make eye contact. If you're sitting down, what part of the body are you looking at when they walk by? Oh yeah, I kind of get that. And then they would go to the show and they would walk by other booths where people were sitting down and staring at their phone, and they say, okay, we get it now. And they would, you know, not ask for a chair again. I said, if you need to sit down, take a break and go find, there's lots of places, but not in the booth. We are working. You know, think about it as being a retail store. You are working, working, and working. And so, yeah, they started to laugh when
because there's no tables to stand behind.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, that is, you know, it's exciting. We are looking forward to going. We'll have about 30 inventors. So if you're out there and you've got a product, man, you need to call me today. All right. And we're going to be right back with Stephanie and wrap up this episode of, you know, the biggest bang for your buck is going to a trade show, darn it. So save that money and go to a show. I'll be right back and we're going to go pay some bills. Thanks, everybody. thank you so much for being with us for this episode of Invent America, because America invents. And my guest for this segment is Stephanie, our hero, our angel at ASD Market Week. And, Stephanie, we are so excited. And give us, what are some of the more unique things? All right, so we know about going to the show. What are some of the other events that go on at ASD?
Well, something new for this particular show that I'm very excited about is we are introducing a hub. And the hub is a networking opportunity. It's in the grand lobby where we're going to be doing educational seminars and just overviews. And we're leading it with experts in their field. So in the past, we've always pulled in people to come through, but this time it's the liquidator who wants to be able to tell you that they're in the trenches and they know what they're doing. So education is back stronger than ever. We're covering everything in the market that you can think of, from AI to purchasing to beauty to inventions, you name it, we'll have it at the hub. It's free and it's going to be a great time.
So I'm looking forward to seeing, as we've come out of COVID, all right, because nobody put pandemic in their 2020 business plan, and all of the trade shows were cut down and canceled basically. And what happened then was people went into the virtual idea. And I know, yes, AI has, kind of filled in some gaps there. AI and virtual do not transplant trade shows, person to person, shaking the hand, eye contact. And we learned that, big time after that. But, lessons learned. And, there's nothing like selling a product. Because one of the things is like, well, I couldn't test the product. I didn't, the inventor didn't really feel comfortable virtual. And so, when you go to the show and the inventor learns the right, like you said, the right trial and error of their pitch. And if someone looks at their watch while you're standing there, you're done. It's over. Yeah. Unless you're keeping that eye to eye thing going, you did something that you need to adjust.
And, there's something for inventors you should be craving the ability to demo your product with that person so that they can touch it and they can ask those questions, and you've got them. They're already coming to the event because they want to learn and see what's out there. So when you get to have them at your tabletop and then you put that item in their hand, you can't pay enough money to have that experience. And it does big things for you to understand that, okay, I've got something here right now and I believe in my product, and so does this person and that person. So it's a great way for you to just understand if you have merit with the product that you're going out with.
And we have everything this year from, a couple of pet products to new tools. And one, all right, that is totally amazing. It's a new fire escape.
Oh.
So we'll have we're not going to have a full size jump out of the building demo, but we'll have a small tabletop version and then some of the, the animated renderings. But it is really cool because what this inventor did was to take a combination of those chutes that come out of an airplane and the building one. And this on his, and this is so cool. And what he's looking for is feedback, the market research, but, potential licensees, because, all those fire escapes that are on the side of a building, they are, they're easy access for the bad guys to get in.
Yeah.
All right. And sometimes just getting out of them, if you're an older person, getting out of them and going down the stairs, give me a break. All right. His is one of those, it's all folded up, all neatly tucked away. But like on an airplane, you open that exit and it shoots down and it's all covered. And the engineer is a pilot that did the prototype for this guy, and he goes, oh my God, this is so cool. So we are excited to show his product and get the feedback and, just be able to show some of these things off that are just incredible. And so life-saving things, home healthcare things, baby products. We've got one lady that's she is a new way of training early infants, how to suck, because they don't know. They don't know. And she's got a little device that's patented, and it teaches the baby how to suck.
Well, it's so interesting. I always tell buyers, you got to go to this booth because, again, you're going to find things that you haven't been able to see anywhere else. It's all innovation. It's amazing. So you're definitely a must attend every March for our buyer base to go and say, what do you got this time, Rita and the crew?
Well, we do look forward to it, and I know a lot of the inventors, this is the first time their product has been out there. And, so I know Kevin has sent a couple of the guys that he knows and said, you need to get there, you need to get your product out there and show off. So, we've had some of his folks on the radio on the different products that he's lined up. So, Kevin, send some of those guys out there to us. We've still got a couple spots. We would love to have you.
They're coming. I know they are.
So that's, just really fun things, the excitement, the energy, and everybody looking out for everybody else. That was one of the other things that we noted. It's like somebody says, you've got all these people, we're all strangers, we're coming in the door. I met my best friend here last week.
Yeah. They hype each other up. That is for sure. Everyone at that booth just encourages that other person to do their best. So yes, everyone hypes each other up. It's great.
Hey, Stephanie, how many of the products would you say at the show are made in the USA?
Maybe about 5%. So that's another reason we're having them go to this booth.
Yeah.
So we are always looking for the Made in America, experiences with Made in America. Some things cannot be made in America. And other things, they are excited to get them back. So we look for the resources for things that are made in America. And so everybody come out there. I know that, we're wrapping up this segment. I will get you guys back on again. And so you can think about next conversation is going to be with Invent America and going to ASD Market Week, affordable shopping destination. Nanner, nanner, my last word. All right, you guys, love you very much. Talk to you later. And another Invent America next week. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.